Good morning, everyone here and on Zoom. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church in Eugene. My name is Chris Topaz. I'm an older white woman with somewhat curly hair, wearing a Pride event shirt, and I am your worship associate for today. Today, which is filled with gratitude. Ellie Rose will light our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, with these words from Reverend Sean Parker Dennison. Yes, even now, when so much is broken, praise, tears that will not be held back, witness to the immeasurable beauty of the smile of a 6-year-old gunned down by those who praise nothing. Yes, even now, when so much is at risk, praise the blood that pulses its systole and diastole rhythm, dancing to and from the heart. Even when the sky is smoke and our masks have become an ordinary necessity. Yes, even now, when so much is struggle. Praise bodies that sweat and tremble, muscles tense with embodied comprehension that we are headed the wrong way, and the irresistible urge to change direction, a glorious, clumsy, prodigal return. Yes, especially now, when so much is at stake. Praise something, anything, so alive and extravagant that it awakens and calls you to discard despair, abandon apathy, and praise whatever brings you back to life. And now, let's say together the words of our mission, which express our shared purpose. Empowered by love, we transform ourselves and serve our world. Good Sunday morning, everyone. Yes, even now, when these days toss us from hope to heartbreak, we find our way to one another, and we remember that, yes, even now, we have cause to celebrate and praise, to give thanks for the many gifts of life. It is so good to be together. Happy Pride Weekend, everyone. Woo! Today is the 57th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising, a milestone in the struggle for civil rights that launched a liberation movement whose work is far from finished. I am the Reverend Jen Youngsun Ryu. I use she and her pronouns, and I'm wearing my black preaching dress and a bright blue stole. 2 or 3 times a year, we formally recognize new members. When you became a Unitarian Universalist, you not only joined a local congregation, you also inherit a deep tradition, and you become part of a movement that seeks a more expansive love. Come, let us welcome new friends as we celebrate the Unitarian Universalist faith. Come, let us worship together. I am so happy that you are all joining the church. Some of you have been here since you were very little ones, right? And some of you were already Unitarian Universalists and came here just ready to jump in. Some of you had never heard of Unitarian Universalists before and still have found a home for your heart and your spirit. However you found us, we are so glad that you're here. You're joining us at a remarkable time in history. The stakes are very high. And it matters what we do and how we use our collective power to build up relationships for the greater good. You are also inheriting a rich religious tradition that stretches across oceans and across centuries. This liberal faith has been shaped by people just like you who believe that freedom of conscience, compassion, and community care can save us from orthodoxy, indifference, and despair. And now, you all are part of writing its next chapters. Last week, thousands of Unitarian Universalists attended the 2026 General Assembly. Now, some years we meet entirely in person. Other years we meet entirely online. This year, we experimented with a hybrid model that combined both. During that gathering, we learned that over the past year, our roughly 1,000 congregations welcomed significantly more visitors than in previous years. Media mentions of Unitarian Universalism also increased by 26% as our communities responded to anti-transgender and anti-immigrant actions by our current administration. Our leaders challenged us to think of how we can transform this increase in attendance, born largely of crisis, into long-term belonging. Here at UUCE, we offer many, many ways to belong, from justice work and spiritual exploration to affinity groups and community care. The local congregation is our touchstone. This is where we celebrate life's joys, and this is where we gather when we don't know where else to go. Beyond the church, though, you are now part of the Unitarian Universalist Association. You will receive UU World Magazine in your mailbox. And you will also find delightful ways to spell words with 2 U's. Like the Fun group and the Unitarian ukulele group. Becoming a member also means entering into a covenant, which is just a sacred promise. Covenant is a sacred promise with UUs everywhere. We promise to assist one another in our ministries. We draw from our heritage of freedom and reason and hope and courage, building on the foundation of love. We promise to hold ourselves accountable for living our shared values being justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. Together, we Unitarian Universalists lead the way in some of today's most pressing issues. Earlier this year, when the federal government ended its long-standing policy protecting houses of worship from immigration enforcement, the UUA stepped in and joined a multi-faith lawsuit challenging that decision. They argued that allowing immigration raids in churches interferes with our religious freedom and our call to welcome and serve immigrants. The UUA also joined with other faith groups to defend the dignity and rights of transgender people, including protecting access to medically accepted care and opposing attempts to obtain the private medical records of transgender youth. We also passed resolutions encouraging greater support. Delegates, including I think there were 4 delegates from this congregation, we adopted an action of immediate witness calling for the protection of public lands from expanded fossil fuel and mining development. This action was taken at the request of Se Sile, an indigenous-led nonprofit working to protect the earth and indigenous rights. We also passed resolutions encouraging greater support and investment for youth and emerging adults, pointing out that the model of church that worked for the baby boom generation will not meet the needs
of Grayson and Silas and Cecilia's generation. One of our treasured traditions at General Assembly is the Ware Lecture, which has featured prominent speakers like Martin Luther King Jr., Mary Oliver, Amara Jones, and Kurt Vonnegut. This year's Ware lecturer was the Right Reverend Marianne Buddy. Now you may remember Bishop Buddy, the Episcopal bishop. She became well known around the world after preaching directly to President Trump at the National Cathedral, asking him, seated in the front row, to show mercy toward immigrants and transgender children. Looking out at a room full of Unitarian Universalists, Bishop Buddy reminded us that our commitment to the inherent worth and dignity of all has often placed us at the forefront of expanding inclusion, ordaining the first woman minister, celebrating some of the very first same-sex unions, welcoming gay, lesbian, and trans ministers long before other religious communities did. In her closing remarks, the bishop had a conversation with UUA President Sophia Betancourt. And our president, Sophia, asked her, as interfaith partners in this work of meeting this moment, what is your ask of us? And Bishop Buddy reflected on that question for a little while and then finally said, you know, sometimes UUs get so lost in the outer work that we tend to disparage the inner work of nurturing our relationships. We need, she continues, we need vital, healthy communities of alternative spiritual practices so that we can thrive for generations to come. My friends, we are heirs to a very old faith whose roots reach back to the radical Reformation of the 16th century. We are also participants in a new faith coming together in 1961 to create this 10-syllable name that takes a little practice to say. We may not be able to see the whole path in front of us, but we do know this: we do not travel alone. Our strength has always been our covenant, this freely chosen commitment and promise to travel this path together. And today, we are delighted that each one of you has chosen to join this journey. One of the great joys of being part of this congregation is that we are always seeking to expand our circle, widen our circle. And we know that when we say we always mean one more, or in today's case, 12 more. Being an open circle means that we get to constantly meet new friends, and we get to deepen the relationships with our established friends. The new member ceremony is a special moment in the life of a congregation, because when we welcome new members, we feel that excitement and the delight of seeing our congregation grow. Becoming an official member of the congregation is entirely optional. We have beloved friends who worship and celebrate, come to events, contribute financially, but they have no interest in joining, and that's perfectly okay. But those who take that additional step that you're all doing now signify a deeper commitment to this congregation and its mission through service and participation. Since March, 12 people have declared their intention to join. They are Lynn Boyden, Chris Dameron, Patricia Holm, Connor Howe, Anna Keithley, Alexi Miller, Marilyn O'Malley, Michael Stern, Katya Payton, Cecilia Rutledge, Grayson Wagner, and Silas Wagner. So I would like to invite all of you to step forward and kind of make a line up front. And I'm going to invite you to say your name into the mic and your pronouns. If you have a nickname or a name you'd rather go by, tell us that. And also, if you don't feel comfortable, you can just pass the mic to the next person. Come on up.
My name is Cecilia. My pronouns are she, her.
I'm Grayson, and I use he, him pronouns.
My name is Silas, and I use he, him pronouns.
Marilyn, she, her.
Michael, he, she. I'm listening to her. Michael, and it's he, him.
I'm Lynn, and I use she, her.
Katya, she, her.
Amy's taking their photo now. This photo will be posted on the wall outside the chapel, so please do take the time to get to know them. Consider inviting them to the next church event that you're going to, so they'll at least know one person. So our UU faith is non-creedal and non-doctrinal. That means that we don't recite the Apostles' Creed or the Nicene Creed, and there are no core teachings or doctrine that we all have to adhere to. Instead, we make sacred promises to one another. And because we are a living tradition, that grows and changes over time. Those promises may also evolve. I invite everyone to join together to say the words of our congregational covenant. And new members, if you turn around, it's going to be on the screen. So we can say this together. As a beloved community, empowered by love, we covenant to embrace the next person who is always arriving, open to the change they will bring. We covenant to trust others in their identity and truth, and work to be trustworthy. We covenant to speak our truth bravely and gently as we commune in love and peace. We covenant to make efforts to understand the views of others and make amends when intentions and impact all. We covenant to expand our connections with the larger community with humility and empathy. We covenant to remember that how we are with each other is the foundation upon which we build a beloved community. Welcome, new members. Thank you for being here. We welcome you into this community with all of our hearts. Our lives are already enriched and blessed by your presence and your gifts. Thank you. And now let's say our closing words together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now, as we take our voices and our values out into the streets, may you remember to keep your covenant with one another and with the eternal source of life and with our beloved earth, and just remember always what a beautiful human being you are. Let's go in love, everyone. Let's go in peace.